Hello everybody, it's Jasmine. Today I wanted to show you guys the finished time lapse of the birdhouse painting that I was doing. I showed you guys a little bit of it about a month ago, but now I've finally finished the front. The birdhouse is actually going to be a squirrel house. I just have to make the hole bigger so that squirrels will enjoy it, but I can fix it later on. Anyway, at the same time, I would like to update you guys on my work situation and just how bad it's gotten. And usually when I do these sort of work runs, I just sort of go on about everything that's happening at that moment and leading up to it. But today I want to talk about a very specific incident because I do believe that that is the best way to get across to you guys, like how bad the situation is. You know, it's a very concrete example, which I think is useful going forward. So this incident does tie back into a previous incident, but they're so similar that I'll be able to talk about both of them. So about a month ago, we were informed at work, not me, just the people who were there on the day, that a listening device had been found in a part of work where me, two other girls, and 2 or 3 guys work. So not a lot of people, so it was very specific, targeted listening, spying, and this obviously is very upsetting, but it does not surprise me at all, and it's just another example of what type of workplace it is where this incident can happen, and that it's actually a repeat incident because this is not the first time that we have been subjected to illegal surveillance. So my bosses have said that they have found this device, that somebody has, we don't know who, of course. Not everybody has been informed, just the people who were there at work at that time, and obviously being the summer holidays, that's not a lot of people. So I would say a suppression of information, and they have said that they have reported it to the police, but I will talk at the end of the video about why I am very skeptical about that. But a good way to start explaining that is to talk about the previous incident at the end of last year. So one of my colleagues at the time, he had begun to do really bad things quite often actually, but as he was one of the boss's favorites, he could get away with it. You know, racist remarks, unpleasant topics at work, and so on and so forth. But it really came to a crescendo when he set up a room at work with all of his own stuff, and he used work money to buy lots of tools and very expensive things in order to start his own business. And obviously he's a favorite, so it was never really talked about or anything like that. But he also set up that room to be video recorded if you open the door. So one of my co-workers, she did open the door, and that's when she found out, you know, she had been illegally recorded, and that is extremely illegal, especially at a workplace. You have to have a specific permit and everything like that in order to be able to record people. So that incident definitely should have been reported to the police, but it was not. And to make it even worse, the information never really got out from the bosses. The only way that we found out was from the lady specifically, even though she'd obviously reported it to the bosses and, you know, asked for appropriate action to be taken. So after I found out, obviously I felt very unsafe at work. I was just getting back from being on sick leave to do with anxiety and depression. And to be honest, that really negatively affected me because I felt very unsafe at work. My anxiety was really increased. You know, I correlated it to with psychotic symptoms, which you can have when you've been depressed for a long time. So it was very unpleasant, and I was brave enough to specifically ask my closest boss what happened, what things are going to be done to make sure it doesn't happen again, how are they going to keep us safe, right? I asked those specific questions, and I was never given an answer, even though I asked another time to find out if he had found the information for me. And it was really brushed under the rug. You know, I was told that that's just who he is, you know, he does these crazy things, you know, but you know, he's really good deep down inside, and nothing really came of it. He was allowed to continue to work and continue to buy things for his own business, and in the end he changed jobs, and we had a massive goodbye afternoon tea. He was given presents, flowers, and he was sent off with all sorts of fanfare that you would expect from someone who had been working there for, you know, 10 years or whatever. When another lady was forced out very recently, she was never given a goodbye fika or anything like that. So that just shows you the sort of favoritism that has been shown and continues to be shown. So that leads to now where I have my own conspiracy theories about the whole situation. So since they did not report the previous incident with one of the people that they really like, I fully do not believe that they have reported this incident to the police. In fact, I have my suspicions that it was the bosses themselves who have set up the surveillance, and if not, then it has definitely been allowed for one of my co-workers, who's also like the group leader now, that he's been allowed to do that. And then I think that they found the device in order to first protect themselves, because we're not going to the police if they say that they've gone to the police. You know, why would we do that? And then also to sow fear and doubt in our minds, because if there's one device, then surely there can be others. I mean, you know, this isn't even the first time, right? So that would then prevent people from talking at work about what to do about the situation, talking about going to, you know, looking for help from other places, you know, trying to get the situation sorted out. So I think that they are really using that, you know, the whole package in order to make us afraid, make us feel weak, and trying to actually get some of us to leave or hurt ourselves or do something so that we can't continue to work, and bring up all the terrible things that are happening. So you may ask why they would want to listen to us, and that is because we have been trying to get the situation sorted out, trying to seek help, and sending the information to people who need to know about this stuff. And if they can listen in to our conversations and get an idea of what we're going to do, or what type of things we're trying to, you know, get to, you know, then they have a certain amount of power. And then obviously they can use the threat of surveillance to cause people to be submissive and to not feel like they can talk about anything of significance at work, not even in the break room or anything like that. So that's really where I think the situation is right now. I have zero faith, and as you can imagine, I am very scared to go back to work, because if these sorts of situations keep on happening, where, you know, this is the second time where illegal surveillance has been conducted, then that's not going to be good for anybody's mental health. Even if you're completely sane, like, you're not going to feel good going to work knowing that people could be spying on you. Even if it isn't the bosses, somebody's doing it, right? Somebody's spying on you. So that's where we are. You could say that these conspiracy theories are crazy or misguided, but there's more things that have led up to these beliefs, and this is just the single event coupled with an event previously, so you can see where we are at. And I will obviously hopefully be sharing other stories with you guys soon. It's a little bit uncertain because I never know what they're going to do, you know, how are they going to attack me next. So I do have to keep myself safe, and yeah, so if I disappear, you know who did it. But I'm going to try and keep myself safe. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the birdhouse as well, not just hanging out with me. And I will see you in the next video. Hey door!